So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I have some serious fall fever. We're starting off today with a Pottery Barn dupe that could not be easier. I have some really wonderful cozy recipes for you and also a great idea for budget-friendly fall decor. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. So today is Saturday and I have been in fall mode all week. Although I know that the whole month of August is ahead of us, I'm feeling fall deep in the soul. So this morning I got up, picked up my groceries from Walmart because for me, fall begins with food and I have a couple of things on our menu this weekend that I want to make. So let's start off with a little Walmart grocery haul and I'll let you know what we are going to be making today. So today I picked up a package of Thomas's English muffins. We really love breakfast sandwiches in our house. We make them all kinds of different ways, but I like to make them with eggs and spinach and cheese. It's just something that we look forward to do almost every Sunday. I also picked up a loaf of bakery bread. We're going to be making some chicken soup today, and I like to make garlic cheesy bread to go along with it. I also picked up a case of Fresca. This is my son's new favorite thing, so I like to have it on hand for him when he comes over so he can just grab a can or two. For our chicken soup, I needed some fresh dill. I also have a new bag of carrots here. I usually put like a whole bag of carrots in my chicken soup. I have some celery and an onion, and I also picked up this little bag of Stellina pasta because, to be really honest with you, when I was making my order last night, I was too lazy to get up and check my pantry to see if I had it. So I just ordered this little bag. It's only 7 ounces, and I think it was like 99 cents. I picked up a large container of vanilla yogurt. I have some chicken broth, some vegetable broth. Both of these are for our chicken soup. I have some sweet peas, a can of cream of mushroom, and a can of beef broth because we're also going to be making some crock pot beef tips, probably for Sunday dinner. I have some milk also here, some potatoes for my mashed potatoes that are going to go along with our beef tips. I also have some really green bananas, which is fine. They'll just ripen up in just a few days. I have a packet of brown gravy for the beef tips, and then I have a package of chicken breasts for the chicken soup and a package of beef stew for our beef tips. So that's everything that I got at Walmart today. I'm going to take a little time, put this all away, but before we start cooking, I have the best Pottery Barn dupe for you guys that we are going to get started on coming up next. If you remember in my last video, we did a shop with me and I had talked about this little ghost guy from Pottery Barn that I thought was just so adorable, but a ridiculous price at $85. And I went ahead and I bought all the supplies to try to make one on my own. Now today we are going to do it. I'm almost ashamed at how ridiculously easy this dupe is. Now the Pottery Barn ghost is a pillow, but I wanted mine to be like a stand-up ghost so that I can move him around the house, someplace. This DIY is so simple, it literally took me 15 minutes to complete. We are in the craft room and I have all of my supplies gathered here on my craft table. For this project, you are going to need at least 2 yards of white or cream colored Sherpa. I have about 1.5 yards here and I was only able to create one ghost. I'm sure if I measured better, I'd probably have a better use of my material. You will also need just 1 piece of black felt. I just picked this up at Hobby Lobby. You're going to need some styrofoam cones. Now they come in different sizes depending on the size you want to make your ghost. You'll also need some styrofoam balls for their head. Now these little guys are holding pumpkins, so I found the perfect Sherpa pumpkins at Michael's. And you will also need some type of adhesive. I am just going to be using my glue gun for this project. To start us off, I just glued the styrofoam balls to the top of each of the cones with the hot glue. Now you do have to hold it in place for a little while until the glue starts to cool off a little bit to be sure that it has adhered well to the styrofoam. Once the glue has set, you can drape your fabric over your cone. Since my ghost was going to be standing, I wanted the fabric to pull around the bottom so I could just cuff the material under to give it that draping effect. I probably used about a yard of fabric for this. Once I had draped it, I trimmed it in a circular motion around the cone to reduce the amount of material. I didn't have to glue the fabric to the top of the cone because since styrofoam has that rough texture to begin with, it pretty much caught and held the fabric pretty well. So here is where measuring would have really been beneficial. When I do this again, I'm going to take some extra time to actually measure the height of my ghost and figure out how large of a rounded circle to cut. I know that I had a lot of wasted material, and it's why I wasn't able to make two. To make the eyes, I just traced an oval shape onto the black felt, cut the eyes out, and used hot glue to glue them to my ghost. To get this little guy to hold on to his pumpkin, I kind of created arms out of the extra material on each side of the pumpkin. I actually put my water bottle underneath the material to give the pumpkin something to rest on while the glue dried. I hot glued each of the ghost's arms, so to speak, to the pumpkin and let it dry, and this project was all done. This project could not be easier. I know it's not an exact dupe for the Pottery Barn ghost pillow, but with every project you have to kind of make it your own. And for me, I really wanted my ghost to be able to stand up and not get squished on my sofa. I really love him here in the living room on my open desk. I think this is the perfect spot for him, and I have some really great ideas how to decorate it. I love projects like this because they're so simple and so quick, and I think that anybody can do them. The materials for this can be found at Hobby Lobby or any craft store that's closest to you, and I think this would be really fun to make like a whole family of little ghosts because you can get the cones in all different sizes. This would be the best project to do with your kids. We are getting our chicken soup all started. I have my big stock pot here on the stove. We're going to turn this up a little bit. I have some olive oil in here with 2 tablespoons of butter. Now this is a recipe that I have shared like 1,000 times on the channel. I will be sure to put it on the full recipe in the description box for you. But this is something that I make pretty much every month, every other month. But I have my pot started here so we can saute our vegetables. I have my chicken all cooked up. I like to really season this well with like garlic powder, paprika, salt and pepper, Mrs. Dash, all kinds of good things. So it starts off with a lot of good flavor. And then I have my chicken broth, I have my veggie broth, and I have the Stellina pasta all ready to go. All I have to do is chop up my carrots and my parsley and we'll be all set. I get asked all the time why I make soup every week, and I really had to think about it a little bit. It's just something that I've done since my kids were really small. You know, I think that in a lot of ways, preparing soup is very therapeutic. There's a lot of chopping involved, there's time spent seasoning and stirring, and you always come out with something wonderful. I think that soup is very calming, it's very soothing, and it's just the easiest, most budget-friendly way to feed your family. I love to have soup in my refrigerator. You know, I always have something to offer if my kids stop over. There's always something that I can share with someone who may not be feeling that great on any particular day. You know, it's like they say, honestly, soup is just good food. With this basic chicken soup recipe, you can add pretty much anything that you want. If you add a little bit of spinach and some tiny chicken meatballs, you would have Italian wedding soup. You can add potatoes to this soup to give it a more thicker consistency. You can also add a bag of frozen mixed vegetables to make a chicken vegetable soup. It is just the best way to use up what you have in your refrigerator and freezer. With my chicken soup today, I'm going to make some garlic cheesy bread. You just take a loaf of whatever kind of bread you like, slice it up, lay it flat on a covered cookie sheet, and add softened butter, a little bit of salt and pepper, garlic powder, and then top it with whatever kind of shredded cheese that you like. Today I'm just using a little bit of cheddar and mozzarella cheese. Bake in a 400-degree oven until the bread is toasty and the cheese is melted, usually like 10 minutes or so. This is so yummy and it goes perfectly with just about any soup. I usually store my soup in the refrigerator in an airtight container anywhere from 3 to 4 days, depending on what type of soup that it is. I usually divide it once I make it and put a small portion of soup in the freezer so that I have a good selection of different kinds of soup ready if I ever need it for a future meal. We love soup for lunch. Oftentimes my husband takes it to work with him, and it's just great to have on a busy day for a quick meal. For dinner tonight, we are going to be making some beef tips and gravy in our crock pot. I love doing meals like this on the weekend because I can put everything together in the morning and just let it cook all day. So for this recipe, you're going to need between like 2 and 3 pounds of beef stew meat. You're going to need about a half of a large onion chopped, a can of cream of mushroom, a can of beef broth. You will need a packet of brown gravy, and then a little bit later on in the recipe you're going to be adding a little bit of cornstarch. So the first thing we are going to do is spray our crock pot with some non-stick cooking spray. We'll add our meat, and then we're going to take that opportunity to season that meat really well. You use all your favorites. For me, it's going to be garlic powder, Mrs. Dash, a little paprika, a little bit of salt and pepper. I probably will put a little bit of crushed red pepper in there too. So it's going to be such a yummy meal. I serve this with mashed potatoes and, whatever veggie that I have in the freezer. So let's get started. Before you put your stew meat in your crock pot, be sure to trim it as best as you can. Stew meat often has a lot of fat attached to it, so taking some time now to remove the fat will give you a better result in the end. Season really well with all your favorite seasonings, and then add your chopped onion to the top. In a small bowl, combine your cream of mushroom soup, beef broth, and the packet of brown gravy. Whisk these together as best you can. Don't worry if it's a little lumpy, it will smooth out as it cooks. Cover the top of the beef with the mixture, put the lid on it, and cook it on low for 5 to 6 hours. I am always looking for new ideas to add seasonal decor to my home, for a good price. And I recently came across this website called the Paper House Print Shop. I found it when I was looking for a Halloween art print to add to my front hallway for fall, and I just couldn't find anything that I really liked. This shop is so awesome. It has the most beautiful seasonal prints and everyday prints that I have come across in a long time. Their prices are very reasonable depending on the size that you purchase, and I love the fact that you can buy your own frames to add these art prints to. And if you really wanted to, you can just buy the same size print for the next season and switch out the art in the same frame. Today I was looking for something perfect for my hallway, and as you can imagine, this jack-o'-lantern with the witch's hat on is just adorable and perfect for what I wanted. So that is what I had ordered. Shipping is pretty quick, and it came rolled up in a nice tube all ready to put into the frame. I found the most beautiful frame on Amazon. It is from a company called American Flat, and it is from their Hudson collection. Since the print I ordered is 16 by 20, I opted for the 22 by 28 frame, which came with a mat, so it was perfect for this project. The frame had a bunch of different finishes to choose from, but I thought the basic black frame would go perfect with the art. It arrived in this big flat box. It took a little while to unwrap it. The plexiglass had a protective film on each side. I just had to peel it off and we were ready to put the art inside. I'm sure there are several smart ways to do this. I chose, however, to use some washi tape to help me secure the art to the underside of the mat. Once I knew that it was all straight and level, I added some tape all around the perimeter to hold it secure. I added back the backing to the frame and it was all done. It looks so beautiful in this frame. I love the simple white mat. I think that it accentuates the deep fall colors of the print. So this is what our new art print looks like in the hallway. I really don't think it could be any cuter. It is the perfect size for this space. I have artwork for all the different seasons, all the different holidays, and I am so happy to have a print that represents my most favorite season of all. And this is really getting me so excited to start decorating for the season. I'm gonna hold off maybe for a week or so, but I am starting to gather all of my decor and I'm making plans on how I'm going to decorate this house for fall. It's been a few hours and our beef tips are just about done. I just have to add a couple tablespoons of cornstarch mixed in with some water to our gravy. You don't really have to take out the meat before you do this. Just add it right on top and mix it up really well. Let it cook for about another 20 minutes or so and your gravy should be nice and thick and ready to serve. Today I'm serving our crock pot beef tips and gravy over some mashed potatoes with a side of sweet peas. This has always been one of my husband's most favorite meals. You can also serve the beef tips over egg noodles or rice. We just happen to really love it over mashed potatoes. I'm going to leave the details to this recipe in the description box down below for you, along with the recipe for my chicken soup and cheesy bread. So that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching today's Fall Fever video. Be sure to check the description box down below for anything mentioned today. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are also experiencing fall fever, because I have it really bad this year and I just cannot wait for all the pumpkin things. Join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.